G'day everyone, Lauren Kress, the business scientist here. I've created this video about bullet journaling, which goes along with another video I just put together on building your MVP. So it's a 5-day series, and on day 1, I talk about how bullet journaling can really help with keeping your business sort of organized and keeping track of everything that you need to do, whilst also being mindful. So sort of bringing productivity and mindfulness together. So I really like the bullet journal concept, and here I've just kind of gone to the bulletjournal.com website to show you sort of what it's. There's a book that the creator of the bullet journal method has written. The creator is Ryder Carroll, and the way he explains is sort of like this is about tracking the past, ordering the present, and designing the future. Now, if you're on this website, you can head over to Learn, and that will tell you a little bit about the system. So there's a 5-minute video that just explains it. I highly recommend watching this. I'll put the link to the YouTube video in the description for this YouTube video as well. Let's just start off with understanding a few basic concepts of bullet journaling, and then again, I'll show you how I've adapted it. So there's this concept of rapid logging that's introduced in the bullet journal technique, and it's basically about sort of shorthanding things so that you can really quickly understand what it is you need to do and keep everything nice and short. Now, there's different types of bullets to help you identify what the particular to-do or task or note is about. So in essence, there's sort of 3 different categories. There's tasks, notes, and events. Now, the bullet is used for a task, and specifically, they don't use a checkbox. I actually like checkboxes better. So I have changed this a little bit. And I think, that's the thing, is we want to adapt it to what's going to work for us. Then a little bit further down the page, they just explain how you can mark out these different tasks. If a task is incomplete, you kind of leave the bullet as it is. If it's complete, you cross it off. You migrate it to a collection, which I'll explain a little bit more about in a minute. You can put it in your future log, which I'll also explain a little bit more about. Or if the task is no longer relevant, you can just cross it out. So this idea of migrating to collection or scheduling it in a future log is something that's quite unique to the bullet journal. So we have a whole bunch of tasks that we want to get done, and if we can't get them all done, it can sort of just fall off our to-do list. So by sort of deciding what you're going to do with the task, either migrating it, scheduling it, or marking it as irrelevant, sort of takes it out of our brain. So we haven't got so much cognitive load in trying to keep everything in our heads and remember everything that we have maybe got to do or not do. Collections are basically ways of categorizing things based on similar lists. So say, for instance, if you have a bunch of shopping lists that you've written down, you can categorize them as a collection in shopping lists. Now, the way that you do this in an analog version is explained on this video up here, but I didn't like that. I prefer using tags. So again, this is why I wanted to kind of move this to a digital system rather than an analog one. And the future log, it's basically laying out your future months and understanding how the tasks can go into those future months. So say if you didn't get something done this month and now actually you don't need to do it until 2 months down the track, you put it in your future log so that it doesn't sort of drop off your to-do list. Then we have events. So events are, in this notation, it's written down as like sort of open bullets. I use underlining instead. And then we have notes. And again, I've just changed the way I've denoted notes a little bit, but these are for things like facts and ideas and thoughts and observations. So you've got these sort of 3 main categories, and then you can start to list out what's going on in your day. Now, notes is going to be particularly important for people who are launching an MVP, because what happens is as you start ideating, you get lots and lots of thoughts that come to you, inspiration, things you want to do, content you want to create, and you want to make sure that you capture all of that so it doesn't go to waste. So really important to not just write down tasks, but also to note down these other things that are going on in your life as well. And this is what I really liked about the bullet journal, was it kind of made it really simple to understand, okay, there's sort of 3 different aspects of what I'm doing that I want to keep track of. And then in this sort of version, you can also mix and match them. So you can start to have ways of just listing things out and being able to quickly identify what it's in relation to, if it's an event or if it's a task or if it's a note. There's also this concept of nesting, which is during this dinner, these were some of the things that we talked about so we can remember it. Or maybe there's things we need to do. So if we're organizing a birthday, there's different tasks that we need to do. So sort of like these subtasks of a task or an event. And then finally, there's signifiers. So this is really important. It's a priority, or this is an idea that I want to kind of follow up on. So by having these sort of different ways of noting things down, there's a lot of information that's conveyed without having to write too much.